Okay, recording.
Hello and welcome to Artifacts with Edie, a live show and tell of the artifacts from the Summit County Historical Society. My name is Edie Steiner and I'm a music therapist with Akron Public Schools at Bridges Learning Center, and I'm also the shepherdess at the Summit County Historical Society. Today we are broadcasting to you live at the Old Stone School. Congratulations to Bev in Brunswick, Ohio, who took first place in our weekly game show, Are You Smarter Than a Border Collie? You could play along live with us on Friday at 11:30. Each episode this week is your study guide. Can you take home the title of Are You Smarter Than a Border Collie? I want to say good morning this morning to our scholars at Bridges Learning Center and our scholars in Miss Black's kindergarten class at Evermere Elementary School in Hudson, Ohio. This week, we are taking a very special field trip. So please say hello in the comments whenever you tune in so I know that you have your permission slip signed. I've already checked in with Emery and Ruben and Lydia and wait, where's Dorcas? Dorcas? Here. Jedediah?
Here.
Abigail? Rufus?
Here.
And Josephine? I'm here. All right, it sounds like everyone is here, so let's get started. Our field trip today is the Old Stone School, located at 299 South Broadway in the heart of downtown Akron, and you can hear the train behind me. Before building this sandstone schoolhouse, which actually became a railroad station eventually, in the 1840s, a wood schoolhouse stood at this very location. This picture that you're seeing right now is from 1870. It's showing you downtown Akron with the great Congregational Church to the left and the school marked with a yellow arrow. Known as Schoolhouse Number 2, it is the oldest standing public building in the city of Akron, which was utilized to educate young scholars until 1884. In episode 2, we talked about General Simon Perkins, a surveyor, a generous contributor to the development of the Western Reserve, and co-founder of the city of Akron. It was General Perkins and his wife, Nancy Bishop Perkins, who donated the land to build the school. Historians, this week, all of our artifacts come from the classroom. So I gotta ask, what are your favorite things about school? Adults, you could play along too by telling us your memories in the comments. My favorite thing about Bridges Learning Center is first thing in the morning when everyone arrives. There's a moment of silence followed by pure laughter and giggles and shouts of good morning and lots of energy. During the 1840s, free public education was something that was a new way of thinking. Much like students are doing now, kids generally were taught at home. Not because they had to stay at home to be healthy like we are, but because private schools were the only option at the time, and private schools could be very expensive, as much as $2 a month. That's $51.89 a month in today's money. During this time, the average paycheck was about 25 cents a week, so not every family could afford school. However, not all the children had the chance to learn to read and write because they're at home because their parents did not know how to read and write. When they did, women typically took on the role as a teacher at each household. They created a daily schedule which included learning, lunch, religion, and chores. Ohio adopted a way to share the costs of school through a tax, which was instilled in 1925. But that wasn't instilled until 1825, but it wasn't until 1921 that children were actually required to go to school.
Principal Greska, could you please report?
This is Mr. Greska, Assistant Principal at Jennings CLC. Reverend Isaac Jennings, an Akron leading citizens
worked together to make plans, collect information, and create a report on how Akron could adopt free education for all children in Akron, regardless of home ownership or wealth. This idea started in Massachusetts, but Akron was the first place to actually create a workable plan. It was then in 1846 that Akron school law was started and all children in the state of Ohio could go to school for free. Reverend Jennings is the father and founder of the Akron school system. All credit for the adoption of free public education in Ohio belongs to him. Notably, this was later copied throughout the United States. Oh no, sorry guys. It's, the bell's ringing there. It's time for me to teach.
Thank you, Vice Principal Gruszka, for that important lesson. It's time for us to review our clues. First, what tool did I use early on to organize students for the field trip? Wow, you're sharp. I made a list. A list is a way to keep organized. A list can tell you what to do first, what to do second, and what to do last. When teaching children at home, what did women create to keep them organized? Was it a knit hat, a schedule, or a bedtime story? You rule! A schedule of daily activities help keep families organized like you and I today. Question 3. Who is credited for founding the Akron school system? If you said Reverend Jennings, you are one step closer to finding the artifact of the day. To summarize, the artifact of the day is about organization, scheduling, and education for all. What could our artifact of the day be? It is a school bell. This school bell weighs about 30 pounds. For perspective, the Liberty Bell weighs about 2,000 pounds. This bell is made of bronze, which is mostly copper and small amounts of tin and silver and even gold inside of it. The yoke of the bell, or the part that makes the sound, is also made of bronze, but it's difficult to tell if this one is the original or not. This catalog from 1900 shows the variety of bells that are available for teachers to purchase during the time. Smaller bells with wooden handles remind me of the shape of the mule bells. Bells are important because at this time, because not all people had clocks or watches, and being on time to school is important, as you know. You are quickly becoming an expert on Akron and Summit history. I'm really proud of all the work that you have been putting forward and the time that you have spent here learning about engineering and architecture and natural resources and how they're important to growth in a city like Akron. School is important so that you too can contribute to society. So what are you waiting for? I can't wait to show you the next artifact from inside the old stone school tomorrow. I will see you at 11:30 for another episode of Artifacts with Edie, where I show and tell the artifacts of the Summit County Historical Society, where history is always within reach.